Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
Meanwhile, our producer is
welcome
pointing
back.
us. We're chatting on the side here about the show.
Yeah. No, Rob was wanting to know if I heard his new commercial, and I had heard it in the background, but I had not been able to comment on it. And then we went live, so I wasn't able to continue the conversation. So thus the dead stare.
Do not try this at home. We are professionals.
Oh my! Oh
wow!
My. Well, we're talking about these frame mirrors, and of course, the number one thing people are going to ask: how much?
How much?
And what's
$1 million.
Our response is 8,000. Not quite that, but $8,000. I hope that's not too much. No, in all seriousness, our average frames range from $175 to $350. They can go up from there, but that covers your small mirrors to your big mirrors and your least expensive frames to your most expensive frames. But $175 to $350 is probably 75% of the frames that we build.
And you charge basically about a linear foot type of thing.
It is a linear foot. Ish.
Ish.
Yeah. No, we look at the linear footage to answer your question, but it's not a per linear foot.
Ish.
Yeah.
It's 5 linear feet plus or minus 5.
Yeah.
Plus or
No.
minus 5. Hey.
Yeah. So depending on the day, no, we have a very clear pricing structure. We'll, when we come out to meet with the client, we're going to show them our actual price sheet. So the prices come right off of the sheet. It's not zip code based or anything like that. We don't.
Yes.
Not
if
the
you're
typical
in 77338, there's a 20% price increase.
Trip charge.
For those who just tuned in, we want to make sure we are talking to John Long from Miracle Frames, and they do custom frame installations on your mirrors in your home without tearing out the mirrors. Very cool product.
That's the key.
It is. That's the. I learned that.
That is the key.
I did learn that, and it only took me 2 years in BNI to get that part down.
Right.
But that is the unique aspect.
If you
And
ever
I love it. If you need a mirror makeover, you know where to call.
That used to be our name, by the way. Yeah,
Mirror
we started,
Makeover?
Mirror Makeover is where they started out.
So not to be confused with Mirror Makeover, we're the same company, but absolutely, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Have you ever had the privilege of tearing out an existing, ones that's put to the wall? They use a very thick mastic.
Mastic.
And
it's
then
a mess.
And when you pull that off, guess what comes with it?
Your wall.
Your wall.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so taking that off is really, you have to kind of reconstruct your walls. So,
Absolutely.
it's a real time saver to do that. And, nothing to me looked, when you have a mirror just going down ahead and flush to the top of right there at the sink, the backsplash, thank you. They put them resting down there, and that's why they start desilvering, because water gets in there.
Right.
And it starts wicking upwards, and it desilvers it. And, mirrors should be up higher.
Well, I know that one of you just mentioned it, desilvering there, the bottoms. That's one of the chief things that happens to just the typical mirrors that are in there that have no frame and all that sort of thing. How thick is the average frame, and do you typically cover up those kind of issues?
Sure. Yeah, our smallest frame is 2 inches. Our largest is 4. But to answer your question, Joe, typically when that desilvering starts happening, rarely do I ever see it go more than 1 inch to 1.5 inches.
Gotcha.
And it will. So even our smallest frame will cover that problem.
Awesome.
And usually it's taken 20 years for it to get that high. So what I usually tell people is it's going to cover it, and it's that desilvering is not going to come outside of the frame. And
cool.
In our lifetime anyway. So
well, we've got a call coming in, John. So I think somebody wants to ask a question for you. We have Kim on the line. Kim, are you there?
Yes, Joe, it's me.
All righty. Kim, do you have a question for us today?
Yes, I do. I have a question. I spend a lot of time at Hobby Lobby, and so I actually have a second bedroom in the back. And so I just want to know, if I went and bought a custom frame there, could I put that on mine? What's the difference of getting one from you from getting one at the store?
Good question. And the main difference is your typical mirror frames, which is the same as a picture frame, has a big groove on the inside of it called a rabbet, and that is where your piece of art, your mat, or your mirror lies. And so if you take a frame from Hobby Lobby, Michael's, what have you, and you try to install it on top of a flat plate mirror without taking it off the wall and cutting it down, you're going to have a big, ugly, exposed groove that's reflecting inside your mirror. And that's why we created the product that we did, which is basically a grooveless, a lipless molding that installs flush on top of your mirror. So you don't have any kind of, ugly reflection or anything unsightly like that. So again, our product is exclusive to Miracle Frames, to the company and to the brand. And you can't get it, anywhere else. And, well, you can't get it from Michael's, I think was the question, or Hobby Lobby. So
Hobby Lobby and Michael's.
There you go. And,
Either one.
Both great companies. The product is just different. And so does that answer your question, Kim?
Oh, yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kim.
Thanks for calling in. Great question. That is totally a question I would have asked because I'm cheap.
Right?
Yeah.
You would have come out and said, here's your quote for $175, and I'll be like, I can get this frame for $80 at Hobby Lobby.
All right.
we actually have another.
And then I would have done it and installed it and had that big groove, and I went, God dang it! $80 gone. Now I got to call John.
Now I got to redo it all over again.
Yes.
Well, you wouldn't be the first, Joe.
You can pay me now, or you can pay me
That's
later.
it.
Right,
That's
right.
it. We've cleaned up people's messes in the past. And
We have Fernando on the line.
Fernando.
Are you there, Fernando?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing great.
Pretty good. How you doing, Fernando?
Good, good. I'm doing great. Thank you. I just got a quick question in regards to the frames. What do you have any type of warranty or anything like that where if I would decide to go ahead and move and I want to take those frames with me?
oh,
Yes.
yeah,
Baby, I spent a lot of money on those frames. They're coming with us.
yeah. Yeah, that is a good question, Fernando. And well, unfortunately, yeah, of course you could do whatever. You can take them off the wall. The problem is when you take them with you, I could almost guarantee you they're not going to fit in your next house because a lot of people think they're standard sizes when it comes to mirrors, and you just assume that there's 5 sizes of mirrors and 5 sizes fits all or what have you. But actually, when we come out and we meet and we build a frame, it is built to the 1/8 of an inch specifically for that mirror. So even if you were to remove it, which again is possible, not recommended, but is possible, you're most likely not going to have any place to put it, especially in a bathroom or over the next vanity, because it simply won't fit. So good question, but it's meant to be more of a plus. The people buying your home are going to say, "Hey, what the heck? I love those frames. Give them back." That was the whole reason I'm buying this house.
And that's what I was going to say. A lot of times is whenever you put those in your home, when you go to sell it, that's part of the value
That's actually a
appreciation
great
associated
point.
right there.
Right.
And people are going to be looking at your home and saying, well, I like these features. If you
Right.
take a feature out,
Right.
then they're going to say, well, what happened to that feature? And a
Exactly.
lot of times when you also list it in the market,
Right.
you'd have to disclose and say, I'm taking the frames with me,
Sure.
and then that would
Right.
create a whole can of worms to look at.
Yeah, Fernando, I can totally identify with you because honestly, I was thinking that myself.
Right.
I'm
Again-
like, I wonder if I could take the frame with me and then just put another mirror behind it.
Oh,
Right. Right.
Because it's
No, but
a
it makes lot
unique
of sense,
thing.
The value of the home.
But that is a great response to that. Is that what I mentioned earlier? The bathrooms are such a focal point in the sale of the house that it's something that's going to increase the value of the sale, and you probably will get your return on that investment pretty easily. And then you just call John out for the new
For the
location.
next round.
For the
Come
next
on.
For
round.
the next hour.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
Definitely.
hey, thanks, Fernando. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
You too,
All right,
Fernando.
buddy.
Thank you.
I can tell you with more than one occurrence that we had mirrors disappear from houses after they've been sold. Because the one thing that people do buy, you don't buy a whole house.
Right.
You buy certain parts of the house, the things
Pieces
that really
of it.
grabbed you at a
Sure.
very visceral level.
Right.
And oftentimes it's that decorator mirror
Yep.
in the powder room.
It's funny you say that. We did a job for a builder, a pretty well-known production builder, and that's been several years ago, shortly after we started. And we did several spec homes for him. And he called me a few months later, and he said, "John, you sold a house for me." And I said, "What are you talking about, Herb?" And he said, "Well," he goes, we just sold a home, over on the particular street. I don't remember the name of it, but he said the buyer was looking at our home, and they were looking at a competitor's home. And he said, they both had similar features, similar amenities, similar price per square foot. And he said he couldn't make up his mind. And the thing he finally went back to is, well, y'all framed all the mirrors, and I like that aspect of it. So that was the one factor. Now, it's a slippery slope to say frame your mirrors, it'll sell your home. I'll never get, I don't think I could say that. Pretty close to it, but you never know when it's going to be that one thing that will push someone over the edge.
Of course, we're in a smoking hot market right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe's words. And the fact is, when you're in a market where you're competing and you've got a normal inventory, that could be the difference between selling it or not selling it, because they will say, because it does look rich when it's finished. It looks like a custom mirror.
Right.
And people understand what that means. Joe.
Yeah, and custom mirrors are like super pricey.
Exactly.
I know that one too because I'm cheap.
Yes. We know that too.
John, you've got a smoking hot subject here because we're getting calls like crazy. I think we got another call.
We have Melissa calling in right now. That is correct. Melissa, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Very well, thank you. You got a question for our guest?
Yeah, so I have a question. I'm actually interested in doing this in my home, but I wanted to know what was the cost, and is there a fee or anything for coming out to give me an estimate?
Again, $8,000, Melissa. I hope that's not outside of your. No, there is no cost for the consultation, and we come out, and it's not just a matter of measuring the mirrors and giving you an estimate. It's a matter of bringing all the samples out directly to your home, helping you with the design aspect. It is a design consultation in addition to an estimate. So I hope you're prepared to look at some beautiful samples, and then from there we help you with that design. We'll take all the measurements at that point. We're going to build the frames entirely off-site in our facility, so there's not going to be any drop cloth, sawdust, any kind of dirty work done in your house. And then we're going to bring the frames back, fully built, joined, and assembled, very clean, neat install a few weeks later. And the install, about 15 minutes a mirror. They're in, they're out, and your mirrors are framed, and you're happy, and we're happy if you're happy. So that's the. But
Great.
To answer your question, no cost for the consultation. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Melissa. Appreciate the call.
Man, John, I know there's got to be folks that are wanting to get in on a consultation. I think that's a good time to toss it out there. Since there's no cost involved, you can definitely have the crew come out and check it out and give you a look at what he offers. So,
how would we reach you?
How do we get hold of you, John?
Our phone number, toll free, 866-95-FRAME, 866-95-FRAME. That's toll free. It's going to ring our office right here in Houston. So for our Houston listeners, we are a local company. Or you can find our more information on our website, miracleframes.com, and that's spelled mirror, MIRRORCLE, frames, plural.com. So that's the best way to get in touch with us.
miracleframes.com.
That's it.
Take a look at them, look at their gallery, look at everything they offer out there. Incredible, incredible company.
Well, I'm sure at $8,000 you might need credit for that. So when we come back, let's talk about credit.
Let's do it. I agree.
We'll be right back.